like thingamabob last night.
Really?
It was like coming through the other side of a portal.
But you look actually perfectly healthy.
Do I really?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's coffee. And a little bit
Sean
of alcohol.
O'Connell, NBC
And
Charlotte,
asking, like,
Speed.
tree of life questions. Trying to figure out where I am exactly. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great, Sean. How are you?
Very good, thank you. When you have a character like this, where there's a lot of information that you can go back to on your own and dig into to try and help formulate the character, is that something that you like to do, or do you really want to keep it to what's on the page?
I love to do it. You know what? If I wasn't an actor, I would love to be an investigative journalist or a spy. But I wouldn't want to kill anyone. But I would love to like do the research and all of that. And I find that with a role like this or any part, doing the research to find out who the character is, what their motivations are, it's for me that's the most fun. And with this, I'm playing a woman who is trained to be unemotional and analytically precise.
Okay.
So when playing that, I still have got to find the humanity within it and find her arc, where she begins the movie and where she ends. And then at the end, finally allow the vulnerability to come through.
Now, because of that interest, yours and Miss Bigelow's sensibilities, I would guess, as storytellers really meshed. Could you talk about that? Because she puts together these films and they have this documentary-type realism to them, especially Hurt Locker and this.
Yeah. It was a great honor to, and it is a great honor to work with Catherine Bigelow. She's one of the best there is.
Right.
And yeah, it was an absolute collaboration with her. What I respect so much is when you're doing a movie about a historical event, she doesn't lie and make it a melodrama. Like, we don't create a love interest for Maya, which is very strange. Usually we see women are defined by men in films, whether or not they're a victim of a man or they're the love interest of a man. And Maya represents this new generation of women in movies where she stands on her own and she's capable and strong. And Catherine Bigelow, I think, is a great filmmaker to tell that story.
Well, and Mark also, I guess. Did you work a lot with him to pull out those qualities of that character?
Absolutely. Mark Bigelow and, I'm sorry, Mark Bigelow. Mark and Catherine's collaboration. Yeah, well, they're, you know, he wrote the screenplay in 3 months, I think. Of course, he had had another film that they were going to make, and then when, of course, Osama was killed, they had to rework everything else. But yeah, he absolutely, I nicknamed Mark the Professor because he was my teacher.
Okay. There's a scene, the scene that probably impacted me the most is the final one.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's giving anything away, but there's these emotions that come over the character of everything I've poured my heart into is now come to an end, and I honestly don't know what's next. Do you feel that way at the end of a project? At the end of a film, if you don't know what your next project is going to be, is there some sort of emptiness, or what am I going to fill myself up with next?
That's a really good question. You know, I bet there is. The past few years, I've been very lucky because I always know what my next project is going to be. But I know with Maya, she had worked so hard for almost a decade where she became a servant to her work, that in a way she erased herself. And it was like her main focus. It was her calling. So at the end of the movie, when they say, "You did it, where do you want to go?" This moment of, where does one go after this? Where does Maya go? Where do we go as a country? So it's even a bigger story than this one woman's journey. And I'm glad you picked up on that, because that's absolutely what I was thinking at the end of the movie.
Really? Interesting. Give me the right.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Well,
yes, I know. Thank you. Good luck with